Kylen Granson is a tight end for the Indianapolis Colts. He is wearing this preseason something called the Guardian cap. It is not a baseball hat worn in Cleveland. A Guardian cap is something, a shell that you put over a football helmet that has an opportunity to lessen the likelihood of traumatic brain injuries, otherwise known as concussions. It's the equivalent of when face masks were invented, or when hockey goalies said, I may want to wear something to cover my teeth. Or when hockey players were said, how about a helmet? And Ron Duguay said, nah, I like my wavy hair flowing. Carol Alt really digs it. I'm going to keep it that way. All right, you're grandfathered. So are you, Beck, but the rest of you wear some helmets. Now everybody wears a helmet. Baseball players get hit in the face with the ball. Well, how about this? We have a new thing that you can cover your jaw. You sure you don't want to wear that? Yeah, I think you all should. Everyone's wearing it. Standard. Everything that looks bad gets scrutinized by people because it looks bad. I want to see if we have a picture that we can show you. We do have sound of Kylen Granson, who explains why he's wearing it. But can we show people a picture, if we have one handy, of what that cap looks like? It looks awkward. It looks like a huge helmet. There were baseball players, pitchers, who were given an opportunity to wear something that would protect a comebacker hitting them in the head, but they found it too bulky, didn't look good, and felt they couldn't pitch properly with it because their balance was off. It's the same pitchers who didn't want to wear a PitchCom device because they said it was annoying to have a black stick in your hat and a voice. Now, I grant you the helmets look large. The caps look a little awkward, as you're seeing on DraftKings Network or on the Nothing Personal with David Sampson YouTube channel or wherever else this show is distributed. Not yet Peacock. I happen to think that players should not have a choice. If I'm the owner of a company and I've got employees doing a dangerous job and I have a piece of safety equipment to make it safer for my employees to do their job, I don't ask them. It's the rule. They've got to wear it. Why is Kylen Granson the only one who's saying this?
To have kids someday, I want them to also know that, hey, dad isn't just telling you to be safe. He also was safe when he played. Like, he did everything that he could to protect his head, to protect his brain, to protect his long-term health. I'm going to get married this coming year. I want to be able to remember our first dance 30 years from now. I want to be able to remember my first kid's steps. I want to be able to be there at their first day of school. Anything I can do to mitigate that, anything I can do, no matter how dumb it looks, it doesn't matter in the long term for me. Football's a game. I love it. I love it with all of my heart. But it's not worth putting my life, putting my family's life at risk. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than just looking cool. And if I can do the same things on the field and be safe at the same time, why would I not want that?
Standing ovation, Mr. Granson. I'm waiting. If you have it, contact me, DavidSampsonPodcast.com, Twitter, David P. Sampson. If you have a possible argument, any argument where that player is wrong, let me know. I'm dying to know it. If you know any older football players, my guess is you'll have no argument at all. And maybe if you've just been hit in the head too many times, you'll have an argument. I just can't think of what it is. What about kids playing varsity high school football, Friday Night Lights? You're afraid they won't look cool? You want them to look cool with their biceps and triceps showing and all the boys and girls there cheering them on? It's high school. Now, I grant you it's fun when you're doing it. There's a lot more life after high school. Hey, what did you do? Oh, I was very famous. You have no idea. When I was 17, I was a high school football player in Texas. And oh my God, I was so popular. Oh, what do you do now? Oh, it doesn't matter what I do now. Just know that 30 years ago, man, I was the shite. Would you give me a break? And I'm not trying to yuck on Friday Night Lights. I'm not trying to yuck on people playing football when they're young. I'm trying to say, what kind of parent would let someone play a sport and not take advantage of all the possible equipment that is there to keep your child safe? Just wondering. There's a state senator in West Virginia right now, and he is advocating for a Student Athlete Safety Act. There's a middle school football player who died last year. This senator's name is Mike Stewart. He's going to introduce what's called the Cone-Craddock Student Athlete Safety Act. He died last month, excuse me. What do you think this act is for? Well, if passed, it would require the use of these guardian caps for all elementary and middle school football, as well as high school football practices. We don't want to get people upset about games. I don't want to lose my state senatorship. He actually had a quote saying the NFL has embraced guardian caps. If it's good enough for the NFL, it's good enough for us. Keep in mind, players in the NFL have the best safety equipment. NFL helmets are state of the art, updated annually, and can cost more than $1,000. Our student athletes aren't getting $1,000 helmets. In fact, I'll bet many of our student football players are wearing the same helmets that have been worn for years. Guardian caps are affordable. It's the least we can do to provide greater safety in competition on the field. David P. Sampson on Twitter. DavidSampsonPodcast.com. I triple dare you. Send me the email. Send me the argument you have against the passage of this act and the requirement that kids wear the guardian cap. Oh, because someone has a financial interest in the company that produces them, and there's no proof yet that it actually works to cut down traumatic brain injuries. You know what? That's a chance I'm willing to take. Let's say it's even a tie with a chance of upside. Do you know what happens when you don't wear it? Then every one of those Friday Night Lights kids, they're cloudy with a chance of meatballs as they grow up. I just don't see the argument. And on the NFL side, give me a break. All you need is one conversation with Jim McMahon, and you're wearing the guardian cap. I am so positive that this guardian cap is going to be more common that I'm willing to actually make it a full wait to see. When I tell you something's going to happen, if it does, great. If it doesn't, fine. More players wear Guardian helmets in 2025 than in 2024, meaning the Guardian caps on their helmet. It's going to happen. And then we're going to look back, and this is just what players will wear. It won't even be a thing. And in terms of West Virginia, they ought to be the start. They ought to be the lead. This ought to be a federally mandated rule that Guardian caps are worn for anyone playing tackle football of any age.